Hello there, welcome to another week in our garden. It's very cold today. The autumn's well upon us now. 2 days ago we had a flight of geese go across. There must have been 1,000 geese and the noise from them was unbelievable, but what an amazing sight it was. Now today the compost bins are in use, nearly full, and I've got quite a few leaves, so I've actually made a box this year for my leaves. They'll be in this box for a good 12 months, so I've made it quite substantial, and I've actually painted it with Cupinol Old English green, which will last a few years, so it's well worth the money. Now this is what I've made for the leaves. As you can see, if I leave it like this, the leaves will go straight through. I've been given some corrugated plastic sheets, so let's pop those in. And these are the sheets, and I've actually made the bin so it fits the sheet and it will turn the corner, and then each corner as we go round will stop it from pushing out. Pop this one here, pop that one there against that folded edge, take that to the end, I would have preferred them green or black, but white will have to do, I'm afraid. We'll make that into a fold again, make that into a fold if we can. That's it. And the final one, which will go to there, and then we'll fold it onto that if we can. That's it. That's made a good box. They're in leaves while the wind's been blowing them off at the front of the house. Murray, who lives next door but one, he's been picking them up with his lawnmower for me. All leaves are welcome because it makes wonderful compost. So tip these in. Some have been picked up with the lawnmower, which actually helps because it chops them up a bit. If you pick them up on the lawn, you'll have a few grass mowings in with them as well, which is not a bad thing because it speeds up the rotting down if you've got a few bit of grass mixed in. And these have actually started decaying in the bag. I can smell it and see the heat coming off it. Quite a bit of grass in that one, but this is a big bag, this one. They're very mixed. There's oak, there's ash, there's, I don't know what that one was, sycamore I think in there as well. A good mixture of leaves in there from the woods opposite the cottage. And one more for now. Look at that, there's the rotting already in the bank. I just messed them up a bit. They really are rotting already, look. Wonderful. I just loosen them about. Now I shall continue collecting them because they soon go down. It'll take a double box to fill half a box, so we'll carry on collecting them. Every time the wind blows we'll go and get them out the corners. Wonderful compost. And then just to finish it off, I've got a lid that I'll just drop in. That'll just stop the wind from blowing them out. So that's a good compost bin. It should last a good few years. I put it in the ground about 6 inch, not a lot. You put them in the ground too far, they just rot off in this clay. That's a good bin. 12 months from now we'll be digging those out and mixing them in with our compost. So that's the leaf bin complete. We'll keep filling it till it's really full. Now we'll just nip up the garden to the fruit cage. I've some ericaceous compost I want to top up the blueberries with, because over the summer the compost and soil that are in those containers has sunk down and we need to top it up now for winter. Now here we are at the blueberries, once again being rewarded with some fantastic red colouring on them. Absolutely beautiful. We should get a little bit more colour when it gets a little colder. Looking down I can see that the compost has shrunk back a little bit through the season, so I'm going to top up both pots with some good ericaceous compost and let it wash itself down. I'm just going to pour it into the top of the plant and then push it about with my hand once it's in, okay? About half a bucket in each should be plenty. No feed or anything on them this time of year, just a little bit of ericaceous compost. That's it, that'll settle itself down now nicely. I just hope the chickens aren't watching, else they'll be in sorting it out as well. Just push it about and then just let the rain and the weather take it down. It'll protect the root a bit as well, so it'll be fine. I should keep my eye on it, and if it wants a bit more later on I'll do the same again, just to keep topping them up and they'll be fine. I think I spoke too soon about the chicken is going in to have a look. Now Rodney, don't you get digging that compost back out, will you? There's a good boy. Now that's put the chicken in his place. We'll go to the front of the cottage where I have a little bit of work pruning and trimming the lavenders and digging up one or two of the gladiolas need doing. So we'll do that next, and then hopefully come back and do the cuttings. We'll take some cuttings while we're up there as well. Pick the vine up and pop those in on the way back. We're round at the front of the cottage now. At the front beds, as you can see, they're quite a mess now. They've had a long flowering period, done remarkably well, but now it's time just to trim them back and tidy them up ready for winter. What I shall be doing, I should just lightly trim the lavender. Diane's taken all the nice flowers that she wants for drying, so all this can now go. I should trim the potentilla. It's been flowering all summer, it's done remarkably well. Likewise that lavender. I won't touch the pieris. I will trim the buddleia down just to stop it waving about in the winter winds. Quite a bit off that prunus, a little off the acaba where it's growing into the buddleia, and then I shall leave it. I won't cut the conifers because I've already done those and they look quite nice. We do have a dead patch in the conifer that I'll be looking into to see if I can cut that out. I don't know why that's died. We'll sort that out and cut that off. Now I'm just going to trim this lavender off with the shears, the good sharp shears, so they'll be alright. and then just trim the front a little to stop it growing out onto the drive. Just straight chopping. What I do is cut it and then rake my fingers through it, get the bits off. That's the idea, look, and then just pull the bits away and trim any that you've missed, obviously. But if you look into it, if you let it grow too high up, you'll get that effect all over, so just trim it back nicely. So I'll trim these, the 2 lavenders, and then come back and show you what I've done. I'm just trimming the front now, slightly undercutting a little. So it's got a definite edge to it. No feeding this time of year, remember, just leave them to winter. They might put a little bit of growth on there in the weather that we get it. I'll finish those with the secateurs and then get them picked up. Just undercut slightly so it doesn't look like a hedge. That's nice. I'll just undercut a little here, look. That little bit there just wants. That looks better now. I'll just break it down. Anything still sticking out or weeds, we'll take those out. Look, don't want those in there. That's better. And the weeds there, look. You have a courtesy light there that we'll be able to see it now. I've cut them back a bit. It smells absolutely beautiful. Quite a bit of gravel going in with it. I'm going to put this through the shredder, so I'll have to watch the gravel that's in it. I'll put the gravel at the bottom, I think. Brilliant now. We've got a nice edge and the plants are still got plenty of warmth in the sun, and they might just grow a little, but that's fine. We'll have a look at that dead piece of conifer. And we've got a bit of rosemary there, needs to come out, it's dying back. Just going to take this bit of rosemary off, it doesn't look very well, so we'll take it back to some good wood and get rid of that now. Right, let's have a look at this. I don't know why it's dying, quite a big piece there. We'll take it back, that's dead as well. So let's go there. Quite a cut. There's a lot of dead on it. This will have to go for burning, obviously. Let's see what else we've got. We'll take that off. That piece there, it looks dead as well. And that. Remember what we said about scraping the bark to see whether the plant's still alive? That's showing that it's still alive. That one, look, is dead. You see the difference? So the plant's, it's still got life in it, so we won't trim too hard. But we will need to take these off because they're quite a mess. You see, that one's fine. It's just the branches at the bottom here, so let's have a look. That one's dead, so that one can come off. They're alive. They're fine. That one's dead, look, definitely. But these branches are still alive, so we'll leave them. I'm not taking good branches out. I'm a bit disappointed about this dead hole here. So next time I'm down the shed, I shall mix some hoof and horn with some fish blood and bone, and I shall scatter it all under here, so when the rains eventually come, they'll wash it in and give this conifer a nice feed to perk it up. Another little job I've been doing over the last few days is taking the gladiolas out. They've done very well in this bed in the sunshine, but it's so overcrowded they tend to stretch a little bit too much and then fall over. So we decided we're going to put these down on the back garden. The other thing is, this ground is very shallow and overlying clay, so they're not really getting the feet down as well as they'd like. But there they are, they're coming up. Let's get them out. Have a look. I know some of our friends are having a lot of rain. This soil is absolutely dried out. We've had no real serious rain at all last month. Right, we'll get these in the bucket. These are all the ones I've already dug up, and I'm going to add these to them. I'm not going to put the tops in to dry. I'm going to cut them off, let them dry, and then next year reset them at the back of the house in one big group. I think they'll look very nice. As long as the chickens leave them alone. Now we'll trim this buddleia. It's been trimmed, I don't know if you can remember, in the summer we took all the dead heads off. These were the second flowering. It's done very, very well, but we don't want it wafting about and breaking the root off in the wind, so we'll take it off with about a third, I think. There's loads of breaks, as you can see, so we'll just take it back to one of the breaks like there, yeah, and there, and there, and we'll get rid of this so we can get some light in. Same again here, just above that break. It just keeps it tidy. Now this one's been broken with me passing by, etc., so we'll take it off back here. Now we've made some room, we can see where we are with this, so we'll go in, still taking just above a node. Let's take this one so you can see there, I think, because it's at the edge. There you go, now you can see. Yeah, there's a couple of breaks, so we'll take it off there, look. Take that top off. And then to complement it, we'll have to take these side ones off just to balance it a little. We're not pruning hard because we do that in February, this bush, so we're just taking some off just to stop the winter from lashing it about and rocking it, and it'll split at the root if it rocks too much. Again, up here, this one will go here. Look, if I can get secateurs to it. Yes, good sharp secateurs. And here. Once you get your eye in, you'll be able to get to the shape of it very quickly. No need to take these too far back because they're well protected here. You see? I'll just finish the buddleia off and show you how it looks when it's finished, okay? There you are, that's the buddleia trimmed for autumn. Remember, in February and March we will trim it again, but this is just to stop it. There's a broken branch there. Just to stop it from waving about in the winter gales, because it does get quite blowy on this front. There's the prunus here that's absolutely full of flea beetle that's eating it. It ought to be taken out really, but I'm going to trim it back quite hard in the spring. But at the moment I'm just going to clean this side off so it gives a bit more light and air to the conifers, etc. Quite hard on these, they'll take it. This is one of the shrubs you could take off 6 inches above the ground and it will grow right back again. Just take this side off here and that'll be it, and then in the spring we'll take it right back. I think that would do for now. All your summer flowering shrubs can all be trimmed at this time of year. Not too hard, just a little, and then we'll cut them again early spring so we can still get the flowers. If you cut them too harsh now, a lot of them won't flower on new wood. It needs a year-old wood to flower, so be careful. Not like the buddleia, we know that will grow in 1 year and flower. Some of the shrubs, check on your shrub, make sure it's not a second year flowering on the older wood. Okay. Now that'll be it round the front for now. It looks a lot better to be trimmed. I bet they feel better as well. Now while we've been doing it, I've actually taken a few cuttings from the front that we'll now take down to the fruit cage where we're putting the cuttings in, and we'll pop them in. Okay, this is a peony that has now died back. It did have chocolate spot on the leaves, so anything I take off this I'll put separate, and I'll make sure it's either thrown away in the bin or it's burnt. It'll probably be burnt in the little incinerator. If you've got chocolate spot, don't put it near your compost, else it will go through. And if you've got chocolate spot on your peonies, make sure you take all the dead foliage away. And this is Diane's pumpkin, which will also go to the compost heap today. I think you finished with it, haven't you? Nice patterns. This look very nice, but Halloween's now gone, and so we'll take that down with us. Take all the mess away from this. You don't want these. Weeds there, look, take that with us as well. Bit of grass coming through the conifer, take this out. It looks a bit of a bulb patch, but there are bulbs under there that will follow through now, and this will be full of daffodils soon. I don't know why it gets the chocolate spot on it. It's one that we bought, so it came with it. We'll have to look into it, see if we can correct it somehow. As you can see, it looks a lot better trimmed, more in control, nice clean edge. Buddleia looks well. We've cut that bad out, so that's good. Now we'll take these cuttings down to the fruit cage and get them in with the others. Right, we're at the area where we're going to pop in these hardwood cuttings. I'm going to make the trench and fill it with gravel and then start putting the cuttings in. It's a good distance from there so you can run the hoe up, and it's just a case of putting the spade in, making a good straight this time. That's better. Keep moving it until it settles. It's quite dry, so it tends to be running back a bit at the moment. We'll do it the same length as that one, then we should get 15 in there, I think. Just jump the bottom a little so you've got no air holes down there. Put the gravel in. Horticultural sand, horticultural grit. I'll show you the bags later on that we get them out of. There's plenty in. Actually it mixes with the soil a little, and then just level it off. Any lumps that fall in, just take those out. There you go. That's it, let's put the shrubs in. There's all my cuttings I'm going to take. It's quite a few. I have a little bag here of hormone powder should I need it. I will put it on the grapes, but I don't think on the others. These are the grapes that I took off. About a foot long. It's good wood. Bottom has actually lost its leaves, so I'm going to take top ones off. Okay, just take those off. Take them all off, we don't want none. There's plenty of buds on it. And then just take a slice off like that. It is just above a leaf joint, so it'll be fine. Then for the grapes, I'm just going to put a bit of hormone powder on. Again, this one's dormant anyway, look. Again, nice piece of wood at the bottom, so we just take a strip off. Pop them in there. Now you can put these in a pot, the vines. Put them in a pot and put them in a cold frame or greenhouse. They'll perhaps root a bit quicker than what they will out here, but we'll chance it. There you go. Now you've seen some people take these buds off. Now because we're doing it outside, and the chances are that the frost etc will take these anyway, these from under the soil will come up, so we'll leave those on. A little bit powder, just push them in. We'll quickly go through the shrubs that we're going to do and put them straight in. This is Escallonia, it's a red one. I'm going to do just the same. Just strike a bit off each one. There's no need to put powder on if you don't want. They're quite alright without. And in. Quite tight together. If any of these come, we'll send these up to the village fete and they can have them. So that's Escallonia, red. We've got a label, so we use it. This one, there should be 3, is Osmanthus. Osmanthus, I won't put any of that on and I won't strike the sides because the chances are That's a dodgy one to do, so I don't think it will want anything on it. I think we might be able to make sure they're nice at the bottom. That's osmanthus. You all know this one, rosemary, always roots well, so we won't put any hormone on that, we just pop those in. We won't put them in quite so deep because we want to cover them quite tight together. What else have we got in here? The buddleias that we just trimmed, I took these and we'll pop these in. Again, these will root quite well, so we just put these in. About inch and a half apart. Well, let's say 2 inches apart to be on the safe side, and that's that one done. So that's that row. I just labelled these if I can find them. That's the buddleia. There's the rosemary. So that's those done. There are still 4 or 5 still to do, but we'll just put the handle, remember, of the spade and just push them so it's nice and tight at the bottom. Looks like we've got a helper coming. Like that. And just turn the spade, pull the soil in, and then remember it's just a light foot just to press them down, squeeze all the air out and get them. As dry as it is down here, I will actually put some water on these. Anyway, I'll do this other row and put those in, and that'll do for today because I think it's turning a bit chilly, especially for the camera person. So I'll see you later. That's another 33 cuttings in. The grapevine, maybe not outdoors. We'll take some more in the spring using an eye cutting. Might take, you never know with grape. We don't really know how severe the winter's going to be. If it's like last year, they'll all root, no problem. So they're in. I will have to water them, as I said, because the ground is so dry. Now we're losing the light, it's late afternoon, so we'll go and have a cup of tea. Hello there, Friday today. Now the cuttings we took off the grapevine yesterday, we put those in the garden. I've been asked how to do them in a cold frame or a cold greenhouse. So I'm going to do some in a little pot for you. About 1, 2, 3, we'll do 4 or 5 into this pot, and these will be for covered for the winter. A greenhouse, cold greenhouse, or a cold frame. Okay, let's do them. These are the cuttings I've taken off the vine that we're going to use. So now I've got every one, it's got a little bit of hardwood on the bottom and softwood on the top. Now to trim them, it's the usual thing, just above a node. I don't know if you can see this. If you do that above that node, facing upwards. Some people say they cut one slanted and one straight. I think in this case we can see the different colour, so we should be alright. Now we'll go straight anyway under this bud here. Right. Now we're going to keep that bud and that bud. These two will just break off, okay? You can cut them off if you want. Let's cut them off. There you go. Makes it nice and clean. Good sharp secateurs, remember. Now I always score the back of these. You don't really need to, but if you want to do that, and that gives a bit more of the cambium layer showing where the roots are going to come from. I've put a bit of hormone powder in a bag, which makes it easier. It's organic rooting powder, it should be alright. And then the difficult bit is you just literally push them in, but don't, if you hit the bottom That's no good because it'll be wet through down there and they'll just rot. So down, just to cover, and that's it. We'll tighten up when we finish. Right, we'll do the same again. I'm going to cut it off there, you see. And then we'll make the cutting that long, so we'll turn it that way and just cut it there. It's more or less the same for all your flowering shrubs, and it's exactly the same way of taking the cutting. If you want, you can take your flowering shrubs, etc., and do exactly the same. Put them in the cold frame instead of in the garden. We'll take that off, look there. Right, so we'll keep 1, 2, 3 buds. You can do 2 if you wish. I'm going to keep 3. Because if it roots and there's 3 coming off, I can always take 1 off. There's a good bud there, look, we don't want that one. And we'll take that one off. Then I turn it to the back of that. And because the secateurs are very sharp, I can just take that off. And you can see the cambium layer. The green is the cambium layer, so that's where the roots will come from. It's not necessary, but I think it's a case of belt and braces. It won't hurt to do it. So we're going to do 5. Now the compost we're using, because it's for indoors, is peat free, and then I've put a good handful of sharp sand in, and more important I think for indoor is a good handful of silver sand. Now this is lime free and washed. It's quite expensive in these small bags, but for a few cuttings you don't want a great big bag. You can see now this one is nearly all wood, look. But we're going to do exactly the same. There are buds up here, so we'll do exactly the same, look. It's going to, you can do quite strong cuttings with vines, so we'll do exactly the same. I'll just take that little stick off. I'm not going to take that bud off. Turn it to the back of what would have been the bud, or in this case we'll go between the 2. A little bit of cambium showing up. Into the hormone. And then just push in. Remember, not too deep. You can always put a bit more compost on top. That's what I think I'll do with this. I'll top it right to the top and then leave it to settle. Same again, straight, and we'll do it to that one there. Look. 1, 2. 2 buds on this one instead of 3. That's fine. Not too deep. One more. This is a funny old cutting, but we'll make something of it. There's a good bud there we're after, and we'll keep that one as well, so we'll cut just there. Just shows it doesn't have to be dead straight and nice and clean. We've got 2 buds up there. We'll leave that one. No, we won't. Better take it. There you go. We'll take that one. Take that one. I'm going to cut nice and clean just below the node, look. Okay, and then I'll just scrape a bit off. Not very good. That's better, look. And in you go. Not too deep, remember. So they're your autumn cuttings. Now in the spring we'll do an eye cutting. That's a bud on a stem facing up, and we'll cut the back of the stem off and then we'll plant it just underneath some compost. But you do need a little bit of heat for that, so we need to do that in the spring. These will root quite readily in a cold frame or cold greenhouse. All the shrubs that we did out in the garden you can do this way as well. Do have a go. and we'll look at these 7 or 8 months from now. We'll have a look and see how we've done with them. As I said, it's Friday today, so that'll be all for this week. We don't want to make the video too long for you. I shall spend the rest of the day, I've got the shredder out today and all the prunings etc. we cut off the front yesterday and a few more. I'm going to put those through the shredder now and put them on the compost. So that'll be my job for the rest of the day, and that'll be it for the video. I shall hopefully see you next week. Now, many thanks for all those people who have subscribed. We do appreciate it, and I'd just like to thank those people that made some lovely comments for Gemma when she did her video last week. I think she's quite pleased with the way it went and the feedback. Thank you for that, and hopefully we'll see you next week. Bye now.